Here's the president also today explaining why he thinks Portland is bad, and the judge who ruled against him is bad. Number 4, please.
Control, it's the opposite. And I believe they're afraid. They're scared for their lives. I believe that the Portland people are scared. You look at what's happened with Portland over the years. It's a burning hellhole. And then you have a judge that lost her way, that tries to pretend that like there's no problem. Actually, she's not even saying that. There's a huge problem in Portland. I'll tell you what the problem is. Crime. Okay, crime. There's a huge problem in Chicago. It's called crime. And we want to put out the crime, and they want to inflame the crime. And why they want to, I don't know. But it could be that Pritzker is scared for his life. Yeah.
Okay, Governor Pritzker mentioned Governor of Illinois. Here's Governor Pritzker today saying, invoking the Tom Petty rule. Number 3, please.
I refuse to let Donald Trump, Kristi Noem, and Gregory Bovino continue on this march toward autocracy. Their plan all along has been to cause chaos, and then they can use that chaos to consolidate Donald Trump's power. They think they can fool us all into thinking that the way to get out of this crisis that they created is to give them free rein. Well, that plan will only work if we let it. The state of Illinois is going to use every lever at our disposal to resist this power grab and get Noem's thugs the hell out of Chicago. I'm not afraid. I am not afraid, and I won't back down.
That's the Tom Petty part. Won't back down. Batya, states' rights, part of what the Democrats are saying, of course, is a flip from their normal view. The two parties have flipped here, but is this? Are we on the precipice potentially of a constitutional crisis, or this is just a process argument?
I think it's a process. I mean, like you keep saying, Mark, and I'm actually curious, Stephen, what you make of that. They have not violated a single order from the Supreme Court or any of the lower courts yet. So, you know, I think it, like I said before, it's very much in his interest narrative-wise to act like this is about to happen. But I really don't think that they have any interest in going there, because their whole argument is we're the common sense people. Whenever he's talking about immigration and crime, he's winning. And I'll just make one more very brief point, because I think this is really important. He knows that on immigration, he has some leeway. And the reason for that is, I remember like in 2016, in 2018, in 2020, if you said, listen, we need to have a strong border, this is insane. There's so many people coming into this country illegally. It's a disaster. You got called racist by the biggest names in the Democratic Party, biggest names in Democratic media. That is now the starting point for Democrats. They won't give him credit for it, but they'll say, obviously, we need a strong border. People who called me racist for saying that 2 years ago, 4 years ago, this is now their starting point. So Trump knows that when it comes to the Overton window of what like the respectable left has to say about immigration, he's just miles ahead of them. And so I don't think he's worried about how he's going to come off on anything that has to do with that. But again, like I said, I think it's been very important to them not to violate any court orders.
Stephen.
Yes, I hope that is true for the future of our republic, for everyone who's tuning in right now. I hope that's true. When you look, I study political division in America pretty closely. The current levels of division are at the levels that we've had during the actual U.S. Civil War. And just in that mindset, it justifies any kind of action. And both Democrats and Republicans are guilty of taking extraordinary measures in the name of destroying their political enemies, including, Batya, as you described, people calling you racists from the liberal side. You know, that is the most inflammatory rhetoric getting elevated and then generating news cycles in what I call our division industrial complex. And that's a big problem, I think, right now. So let's hope that he doesn't disobey the court order. Worth noting, by the way, that the Portland judge was a Trump appointee. And it's interesting that as soon as a judge disagrees with Trump, he's quite quick to throw them under the bus.
I like he said she lost her way. I thought that was good language. Batya, go ahead.
Can I ask you, Stephen, what in your analysis where like anything is legitimized by the polarization at this point, what explains why Trump has not yet in the last 9 months violated a court order?
No, I think that's a good point. I think in Trump's case, I would point to other things in terms of, for example, at the Charlie Kirk funeral, a place where you want to be magnanimous, and he was propping up Charlie as someone who engaged in having debate and something I agreed with Charlie on. Donald Trump is saying, I disagree with Charlie on that. I think my political enemies are the problem. I don't wish them well. I hate my political enemies. And so that is the ratcheting up of rhetoric that we can't have right now.
So I think there's some people in the country who would say there never should be any role for active duty or reserve to fight crime. There's some people I think would have that position. But the polls are pretty clear. A pretty big majority of people would like to see something like this, right? So you could be a principled person and say, even if the polls say that, I'm against it. But the reality is the president's on the right side of public opinion in general. Here's my question. Maybe it'll be a good one. Maybe it'll be a huge waste of everybody's time. Stephen, where's the line for you? In other words, what's an improper role? Is it reserves are fine, but active duty or not? Is it they can patrol but not carry weapons? Like, what's okay with you? What's the furthest role you would see, most robust role you would see as appropriate?
Well, I think that question starts with what do the local mayors and authorities and the state governors want? Because if you talk to a lot of local leaders, they need help. They would love federal resources to help combat crime on the ground. But when it's being forcibly thrown at them against their will, the local leaders' will, that's where I think it's a problem to have military intervening in that way.
What if the mission is to protect an ICE facility? If that's the mission?
Well, yeah, that would be a federal piece of property, and you could definitely make the case for protecting that facility.
Yeah. Batya, is there anything that's been on the table that goes too far for you?
I would be very uncomfortable with the military arresting American citizens.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it's defensive and protective of federal assets, I think that's legally legitimate, but I would be extremely uncomfortable to see the fantasy narrative that the Democrats have been promulgating actually come to light.
Right. Cozy Earth makes extraordinary products for your bed, for your back, for your legs, pants and shirts, and of course the bedding. Cozy bamboo sheets, temperature regulating, keep you hot in the winter and cool in the summer. And then of course, my new favorite, the bubble cuddle blanket. Lose yourself in luxury with the bubble cuddle blanket. Try to say that fast 10 times, bubble cuddle blanket. All of them, it's stuff, viscose made from bamboo, incredibly comfortable. And now, if you'd like to get some of the products from Cozy Earth, you can at an extraordinary discount of 20% off. Go to cozyearth.com. Use the promo code 2way for 20% off your full purchase. Cozyearth.com. Tell them Mark sent you and buy the pants. Don't just buy the pants, but buy the pants. I wore them all day, and as usual, they served me quite well.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the Morning Meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.